that now you're ready. You're ready to hear Heather Ione talk about manifesting. And she is an expert at this. She's a manifestation and life coach. And I just feel so blessed to know her. She and I actually went to school together at Institute for Integrative Nutrition, and we became fast friends. And just we talk about everything and anything, right? That's how we gather our tribe. We're like-minded. So, without further ado, Heather Ione, take it away.
Thank you, Jen. And hello, everyone. Welcome to Manifest 2021. I'm so excited to talk to you today because manifestation and the law of attraction is my number one favorite topic in the entire world. I could talk about it for 12 hours straight and still not be bored. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Heather Ione. I am a spiritual life coach and a manifestation teacher. I'm also host of the Wild Manifestations podcast. And my mission in my coaching practice and in the content that I create in the teachings like this that I do is to help other women to become a deliberate creator of their life through using manifestation and the law of attraction. So there's a couple different ways that I do that. Number one, I help people to understand the law of attraction in a much deeper way and share with you content and information about the law of attraction that's different than the same things we hear repeated all the time on all of the blogs and stuff like that. I also primarily help people to amplify and enhance their manifestations practices. That way, they are more potent, they're more powerful, and they're actually strong enough to work. And because mindset is such a huge component on whether or not we're able to manifest, I do a lot of self discovery and inner work with my clients. So, this is because if you have things like limiting beliefs, or fear, or self sabotage, or feelings of unworthiness, or a scarcity mindset, and all of these other things, you're subconsciously blocking your ability to manifest because you're energetically pushing it away. And lastly, I help people to raise their energetic vibration through different lifestyle practices, wellness practices, and doTERRA essential oils, which make you more magnetic to what you want to manifest. So I do all of this to help us to become a deliberate and intentional creator of our lives. And today I want to help you women to become a deliberate and intentional creator of your life too. So what I'm going to talk about today is I'm going to share with you 3 different ways we can set ourselves up for success in our manifestation practice this year. I'm also going to give you some time for reflection and walk you through a little exercise that you can do to get crystal clear on what you want to manifest and what you want to call in. And then from there, I'm going to share with you 2 different tips, 2 different things that you can do to amplify and enhance 2 of the most common manifestation practices, the vision board and the visualization practice. So with that being said, I'm just going to dive right into it. How can we set ourselves up for success this year in manifestation? Step number 1 seems super, super obvious, but it's not. And it's to decide on what you want to manifest. And I know that this seems obvious, but you would be amazed at how many people do not do this step. And it's because a lot of people, they get really excited about the law of attraction or manifestation when they first learn about it. They're really motivated. So they're like, ooh, it would be nice to have this and this and this and this. And they sort of just rattle off all the things that would be nice to have. And whenever they go into their visualization practice, they start it right away. And every time they go into it, they're thinking of something different. They're thinking of a different car that would be nice to have, a different amount of money, a different place they want a vacation, a different house. And when you do that, you're not really gaining any traction or any momentum in what you want to manifest because you're constantly bouncing around. So the universe is not able to align the physical world to bring you what you want because you're not putting enough focus into one area. So it can't even align to bring you the first thing that you wanted because you've already moved on to 10 different things. So the people who are the most successful with the law of attraction are the people that are extremely focused and clear on what they want to manifest. They know the exact amount of money they want to call in. They know the exact type of car they want to call in, even down to the exact color, right? They know exactly what kind of job they want to have, the kind of environment they want to be in. They think of all of these things. They care about them. They value them. We get borderline obsessed with them. So every time we show up in our manifestation practices, we're focusing on the exact same thing. So step number one is to decide on what you want. Step number two, though, you want to do it kind of at the same time. And it is to decide on why you want to manifest that thing. And the reason being is because a lot of people, when they first learn about manifestation and the law of attraction, they say, oh, I want to manifest 6 figures. I want to manifest 7 figures. It's very common to say, I want $1 million, or I want to manifest winning the lottery. Almost everyone says they want to win the lottery, right? But when you ask people, why do you want to manifest that? Why do you want millions of dollars? It all boils down to the exact same things. People want security. We want freedom. We want comfort, right? We don't actually want the millions of dollars. We want what we believe we will be able to have if we were to get millions of dollars, right? So what a lot of people do is they focus on trying to win the lottery, for example, but they aren't putting enough intention, enough intensity and power and emotion into that, because what they actually want is something different. And what they're doing is this sort of like roundabout manifestation practice where they're like, if I could just have this thing, then I can have what I actually want, which is the business or the dream car or paying my sister's tuition or something like that, right? They think about these other things they want to have. So when they're doing that, they're not gaining any momentum. They're not gaining any traction because they're focusing on something that they don't want. So you want to focus on why you want something so that you can be sure the thing that you're trying to manifest is exactly what you're trying to call in. And you're not doing this sort of roundabout manifestation practice. And I think people do that because we get so caught up and worried about the how that we think, oh, well, the only way to get all these other things is to manifest millions of dollars, right? And that's just not the case. I used to think I had to win the lottery to manifest every single thing that I wanted. And I never won the lottery, but I got every single thing that I wanted, and I didn't have to win the lottery in order to do that. So don't focus on something else. Think about exactly what you want to call in, what your soul is craving, what would make you happy, and get crystal clear on that. So now I'm going to give you ladies some time to write down what you want to call in 2021 and why you want to call that into your physical experience. Jen, do you have some music or something that we can listen to while people write this down?
I do. Let's see how this works here.
Perfect. We're going to do another minute here. So. Does anyone want to share something that they want to manifest this year? Anyone?
I'll go.
Okay.
So Jennifer knows me a little bit. And currently I'm in Puerto Rico expanding a business. So we are manifesting our operations and bringing jobs to the local community. So that is what I am manifesting, at least one of the items I would like to manifest for 2021.
Yeah, I love that too, because you're not just manifesting for yourself, but you're also manifesting for other people. And when we do that, we actually have even more success in our manifestation practices because the universe is on your side. It wants you to help other people, right? It's not always about us, it's about how we can serve other people. So I love that one. That was beautiful.
Oh,
I'm going to, sorry, what'd you say?
I said thank you. I can use all the good energy possible.
Yes. Yeah, we all need all the good energy right now. But I'm going to move on to step number 3 in this whole manifestation process now. How we can set ourselves up for success in 2021. So this is the third thing that you can do now that you've written it all down and we know what we want to call in. And it is to commit to your manifestation practice. And this is the number one mistake that I see people making with manifestation. I see it in my friends, I see it in my family, in clients, and everywhere. I see it over and over and over again. And it's something called manic manifesting. And this is when people get really excited about the law of attraction manifestation, and they're like, okay, I'm going to do it this time. And they commit to doing their visualization practice and their vision boarding and stuff like that. And they do it for about 3 days and then they stop. And then a couple months later, something reminds them, oh, yeah, there's that law of attraction thing. And they get excited again. And they're like, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to manifest this stuff this time. So then they do their gratitude practice and their visualizations all over again. And then they give up. And this cycle continues. And they wonder, like, why is the law of attraction not working for me? Why is it working for other people, but it's not working for me, right? So this is called manic manifesting. And when we do that, we are not gaining any traction in our manifestation practice. And I kind of equate it to like trying to get your dream body. Like we all know someone that is like always trying to lose weight. You know, they always talk about how they want to lose like 40 pounds or something like that. And they get excited and they do the thing and they start doing their protein shakes and their meal prep and going to the gym for 3 days. And then they stop. And then, of course, 3 days go by, you don't have the 6-pack that you wanted to create, right? Because you're not showing up at the gym. You're not focusing on it. You're not actually committing to it. And the law of attraction is exactly the same way. You have to put time and you have to put energy into it if you want to manifest. So I did this too. I really struggled with committing to the law of attraction and manifestation. But the good news is that it only takes about 3 months of showing up in your manifestation practice to gain enough momentum to create the reality that you want. And Abraham Hicks wrote about this too. They speak on this, but I actually experienced this myself too. When I was 19 years old, I completely committed to my law of attraction practices for 3 months. And within that time, it completely set everything in motion and I was able to manifest the life that I wanted. And the number one thing that I was trying to manifest was a move to Florida. I live in Florida now, by the way, but I was trying to manifest a move to Florida. And I showed up in my visualization practice every single night for about 3 months. And I did not know this, but around the third month is when someone reached out to my dad and wanted to potentially hire him for a position as a GM at a dealership in St. Augustine, Florida. So they started doing the whole process, doing interviews, doing meetings, negotiating and stuff like that. And 2 months after that all started and they were communicating with each other, my mom calls me at school and she's like, hey, it looks like we're going to be moving to Florida. Would you like to come with us? And I was like, yes, of course I want to come with you, right? It wasn't even on my radar at the third month, but it was already happening and it was already put in motion. So if you commit to manifesting what you wrote down, and most importantly, you commit to your manifestation practices, just like going to the gym, you will set that in motion and you will be able to manifest anything that you want because you'll be putting enough power and intention into it at that point. So now that we've sort of set ourselves up for success, I want to share with you 2 different ways that we can enhance and amplify our manifestation practices so that they work better this year. So number 1 is the vision board practice, right? A lot of us have some experience at least with vision boards. But I remember there was a time when I would create my vision boards. And even though I was choosing photos that really resonated with me and spoke to me, for some reason, I just couldn't believe it. And I couldn't feel like it was going to happen when I looked at my vision board. And I would be able to really immerse myself in a visualization practice. But with vision boarding, there was this disconnect where I just feel like, I don't know, I don't quite believe it's going to happen. I didn't feel like that connection and that power behind it. So around when I started diving into manifestation really seriously is when I also started going on my spiritual journey as well. And I started noticing that I had a lot of universal signs and symbols of faith that I didn't before. So for example, I would always see yellow butterflies or hawks or shooting stars whenever I was doing meditations or my visualization practices. So I thought, okay, well, how can I amplify my vision board so it works better? And what I started to do is I started to cut out these signs, these universal signs, and my symbols of faith. So when I looked at them incorporated with all of my desires, I felt that instant spiritual connection. I felt like I was divinely supported. I felt like, okay, this is actually going to happen, right? Because it incorporated my spirituality and my faith and my belief in with my desires and in with those visuals that I was seeing. So that's one thing that you can do to enhance your vision board practice. And we all have different universal signs and symbols. It could be anything. It could be anything that just makes you feel like you're connected to a higher power or connected to loved ones who have passed. I know a lot of people, they see cardinals and it really resonates with them, or dragonflies or butterflies. For some people, it could be as simple as a cross or a Buddha head, if that's what does that for you. That's totally fine. Incorporate those in your vision board and you'll be able to connect to it a little bit more. So the next practice is the visualization practice. And that is when you visualize the life that you want to create. You visualize every single thing that you wrote down. And a common piece of advice that people share is to imagine as if it's already happening to you and you are already experiencing that moment, right? But I get super into how can we make this stronger? How can we amplify it? How can we make it more potent? So what I learned works even better is if you create that visual in your mind, look at that visual and think to yourself, okay, how can I make this more lifelike? What details would I be seeing if this was actually happening in real life? If this was actually going on, right? So there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can focus on like what sounds you would be hearing, like think about very lifelike details. Like if you're sitting in a coffee shop, you want to pick up the sound of them, like, foaming the milk and stuff like that. You want to think about what would you be wearing? What would you be feeling? What are those physical sensations that would be on your body? What would you feel against your skin? What would you be seeing around you? Tiny little details. One thing that I actually like to focus on is if I'm in a room, I actually will notice where there's like a window in my visualization, and I'll imagine like the dust sort of dancing in the light. So you want to pick up on all these different things, the sounds, the environment, what you would be seeing, what you would be feeling, things that you would only notice if you were actually in that moment in real life. And when you do that, you'll notice that not only do you feel more like you're in that moment, which is going to trick your brain into believing it's actually happening, but your emotions are going to heighten too. And you're going to notice you're more excited, you're more grateful, and it's just sort of going to be this overwhelming visualization practice. So you can really immerse yourself in it. So those were all of the tips and stuff that I wanted to share with you today. If you want to get in touch with me, if you want any more information, my website is heatherione.com. And I actually have a 3-part manifestation video training series that you can download on there. And I have tons of blogs on manifestation. We have another like 30 blog posts coming out very soon with all non-fluff content. My podcast is Wild Manifestations. And if you are looking for more one-on-one support, one-on-one coaching, or help in your manifestation practice, you can always reach out to me too for coaching. I have standalone sessions that I do. I do a manifestation strategy session. I also have breakthrough sessions, which focus more on limiting beliefs and mindset. And I also offer monthly coaching as well. But right now, I wanted to sort of open it up. If you guys have any questions that you want to ask about manifestation that are just sort of burning questions that you haven't been able to ask before. Okay, so a common one I get asked is how do you commit to your manifestation practice, right? So one thing that I like to do is I like to substitute Netflix for my visualization practice. And I find ways where things I can cut out throughout the day where it's sort of like a time waster. And I use that moment to incorporate a manifestation practice. So like moments you'd be scrolling on your phone, moments you'd be vegging out and watching TV. Those are some things that you can do. But anyways, if you guys have any questions. Oh, wait, Penny, do you have one?
I have a little question. I mean, I understand visualization, but can you give us any, for example, I have several things that I wrote down that I feel very clear on. And like, do you put them in a specific, I'm just saying, specific order, or you kind of put them all into one picture? Just, do you have any guidance on how to do it? Because I've done some visualization before and I want to get really clear on what I wrote down.
Right, yeah.
Oh.
So what I like to do is I like to I have a bunch of things like you do. And then what I do is I sort of think about one thing. Usually I think about the first thing, the most prominent thing I want to manifest. And
Okay.
then once I'm like, okay, I've spent some time in that visualization, even if it's just a couple minutes, I move on to the next one. And then I move on to the next one. And then a lot of times what I do is I actually go back to that other visual. So I'm continuously circling through the things that I want to manifest in no particular order. And when you do that, you'll realize that you're able to pick up on details you weren't before. All of a sudden, you're feeling more emotion from a certain visual. So you're able to carry that into the next one. So it sort of is just overlapping and kind of compounding in a sense. So you have more success that way if you use them together. Does that help?
Yes, almost like I make a motion picture of my
Yeah.
visualizations that I roll over and over in my brain, in my mind. And each time I see it, where you always notice more details, right? When you're watching something over and over.
Yep.
I love that. Okay. I just wanted to be real clear.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Well, Jen, I guess I'll pass it back to you to introduce our next speaker. But thank you guys so much for listening today. And I wish you all the best of luck in your manifestations this year.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. I love how Heather breaks this down. It really gives us some very good tips that we can apply right away. We can start it right now.